Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to day 4 here on Killer Rat Week 2. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for dropping in. Alrighty, guys, yeah, day 4 is upon us. And if you watched my very first Killer Rat theme week, I reviewed a film called Revenge of the Rats. It was a German TV film made in 2001, I believe. I can't remember what day. It was like day 5 or day 6 on the first one. But that movie actually has a sequel. I know that the title Revenge of the Rats was actually kind of misleading in itself, because it even sounded like a sequel, by Revenge of the Rats, but it wasn't. It was the first film, and of course I'm going to review the sequel today. Another movie made for TV, another German film, and it is called Scratch. So this is basically the sequel to Revenge of the Rats, which is kind of interesting how that works out, But yeah, so another TV-made movie by the same director. I can't pronounce his name. It's like Jorg Lundorf or something. Anyways, this one actually has reoccurring characters in it too, which is kind of nice. Frank and Katrin, the heroes of the first film, are back in this one here. Basically what happens, the film starts out with a girl getting attacked in her in her apartment. And actually quite a very dramatic scene, I might say. The music is very dramatic, and it's all slow-mo, and it's actually quite a funny scene to watch. But anyway, she's found, bitten and, basically dead. So the experts, or, the police investigation basically leads them to Frank and Katra, because they were the experts on the first rat plague that plagued Germany in, the first film. So they start to investigate and stuff, and basically what they come across is there's a doctor by the name of Dr. Matai, which I thought was an interesting name. But Dr. Matai apparently was given about 10 million euros after the events of the first film to create basically a formula to, almost keep these rats intact. And what that means is that basically what he did with all this money and in this lab, in this film, is that he basically created he fucked with their genetics and their DNA and their amino acids and stuff. And what he created he thought was a good solution to the rat problem. So this, a plague would never happen again. And what he did is he basically created this rat that when the temperature drops down to 0, the rat population dies off. 0 in Celsius, I think that's like 33 or 34 Fahrenheit. So basically, the idea on paper did work. So he fucked with all these rats' DNA, and so when the temperature drops down, it would kill off the rat population, and of course a few would always survive. And, the rat population would go back up. And this would happen every 7 or 8 months based on the winter seasons and stuff. But what he didn't realize is that the temperature doesn't drop right down that quick. It drops in, obviously everybody knows how the weather works. But when the temperature starts to drop, the rats get really aggressive. And they start to they go into survival mode. So they start attacking things and whatnot, and killing whatnot and stuff. So basically what happens is Dr. Matai has a helper, and he was in the laboratory one day, and he was closing up, and he accidentally let some rats out of this facility, and they got onto the city, and this is what created this plague. So now it's up to Frank and Katra to, basically stop this with the help of their military expert Stuffs. This guy is, straight up soldier, and he's got all the crazy ideas and stuff. So basically that is what the rat story is all about. But yeah, so they've got to stop this plague because these rats are out in the city, they're procreating like crazy, and they're starting to fuck shit up, and they're very aggressive, and they need to kill them off. So that's basically the story in this one. Now my thoughts on this one. Now, when you're a reoccurring character and a hero from a first film, sometimes you don't last as long as you might think you are going to in the sequel. That's kind of the case for Frank in this one. It was actually kind of interesting that they killed I mean, I guess it's kind of a spoiler, not really, but, you know, it seems to happen in all these type of movies. I was kind of shocked by what really happened, but, you know, whatever. Made for TV film, so this one is basically on the same level the first one. I think this one might have had a little bit bigger budget. There's a little more explosions and things happening in this one. But, you know, overall, it's a pretty decent film. This film does have lots of problems. Again, like the first film, this one is dubbed in English. The dubbing, if you can get past like the first 15, 20 minutes of the film, it basically, you don't even really notice it anymore in the movie. But yeah, I will say that it is completely dubbed over like the first one. As for the rats, they did use a lot of real rats like they did in the first one. Of course, there is scenes with, you know, with millions of rats and stuff that they had to CGI in. My biggest complaint with this is that there's really no rat attacks in this film. It's basically just them trying to track down and figure out a way to stop these rats because they're procreating like crazy and they're going fucking nuts because, you know, their genes have been altered and they go into survival mode at that time when the temperature drops. So, but yeah, I wish there was more, you know, basically rat attacks in this. And with that said, there's basically no gore in this film at all, of course, it being a TV film again. But I will say it's pretty entertaining. It does run pretty long. It's just over 100 minutes, and there's definitely is a couple scenes in this film that could have been cut out for sure. They could have cut this film by at least 10, 15 minutes for sure, but, you know, actually, it's not a bad film. It's pretty entertaining. Like I said, if you can get past the you know, the dubbing, you know, the voices sound like every dubbed film you've ever heard. It's pretty funny. And the lack of gore and stuff. But, you know, it is pretty entertaining. Like I said, the military guy stuffs, he's pretty entertaining in this film. He's this big macho weapons expert, and, you know, he's got all the answers. And the solution that they finally come to in the film is pretty funny. It's outrageous. It's kind of like the first one, but, you know, it's not a bad film. I do kind of like the premise, though. I like the whole premise of, you know, how this doctor was given all this money to create, you know, a way to stop rats from, you know, basically stopping a plague from happening. But, you know, I really like the idea of him, you know, fucking with their DNA and stuff like that, but, you know, kind of screwing it up for the worse, you know. I think that whole premise is actually pretty cool because, you know, it really is kind of like the revenge of the rats, you know, in this one. You know, you fuck with us, we're going to fuck with you guys, so. But yeah, you know, it's entertaining. I mean, I would loosely recommend this one. It's not a great film, but it is entertaining. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it about a 6.5. You know, definitely watch the first one. The first one and this one are very much on the same level. Like I said, this one might have had a little bit of bigger budget. There's some pretty, you know, there's some explosions and some other things happening in this one. It seems like it might have had a little more budget, but TV film, it is what it is, right? 2004, the CGI'd rats don't look overly that bad. Like I said, it's mostly faraway shots of, you know, just thousands and thousands of rats gathering kind of thing. But all the close-up shots, everything is all real rats, which is basically what they did in the first one. So, but yeah, Scratch, the new Sound of Terror, not bad. I don't know if he ever made a third film. If he did, I'm probably going to have to seek it out if I ever do a third installment of my Killer Rat Week. But, yeah, I think one of my biggest complaints, though, I wish there was a little more attacks in this film, and maybe just cut down a little bit, but, you know, it was entertaining. If you like rat films, definitely give it a shot, so. But yeah, Scratch, I didn't really, there's so much story and, you know, and synopsis to this film that I really just try to break it down with the whole rat thing, so hopefully you guys understood that. This video could have went on for a million fucking minutes, I think, if I had, like, broke it right down, but that was basically the basic synopsis of it, so. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here because I'm rambling on here. I hope you are enjoying this week. Day 4, I'll be back with Day 5 tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure which film I'm going to review. But, yeah, I hope to see you guys there. Thank you for watching, commenting, and all that other good stuff. Peace out, homies.